Hello everybody, it's Arnljot here. Welcome to my shop. I was just about to finish some work yesterday using the power feed on the vertical when something weird happened. The whole hand wheel came off and just carted over the floor. It's quite heavy, so I'm happy it didn't land on my foot. Unfortunately, it didn't just unscrew or anything. I don't know if you can see this, but the axle just sheared off. Here you can see it on the machine. And this is the location of the vertical hand wheel, and you see the bearing in there, and that's the rest of the shaft for the vertical control. And as you can see, it sheared off right flush with the bearing. Now I'm looking for ways to fix this. I don't know if you can see it here, but there's a long key slot here, and it's obvious that a crack has developed at the end of that and spread into the other plane, I believe. I mean, the machine is from the late 70s, so it's probably seen a fair share of use. The problem with this piece is that everything comes together right at this point. It's actually hollow. There's a little pin in there with a tapered surface, and that pushes a locking pin that pushes on a ball and a spring to lock the dials on the hand wheel. And when you tighten the front nut like this, you push the pin in and push the other pin with the ball out to lock the dials. So that means this is hollow all the way out to here, and then you have the keyway on the other side. So, you know, this is not a very thick piece, 14 millimeters or a little over half an inch. If you look at the mass of the hand wheel and all the components hanging on that thin shaft, it's almost 3.4 kilo. 3.4 kilos, grams, pound. 7.5 pounds? No. Yeah, that's about right. 7.5 pounds. And the wheel is an enormous mass and has a lot of inertia, so every time that power feed stops, it's going to tug on the shaft. And I just want to show you how fast that wheel actually rotates when I'm using the power feed. I've just put a piece of tape on the main shaft to demonstrate. That's just the power feed. I mean the fast feed. So let's feed it down now fast. So as you can see, it moves rather fast. I've got my fingers in the wheel by more than one occasion, and it it really hurts. And you can also these cannot be disconnected from from the main shaft, not like on the Bridgeport where you have to push the hand wheel in to crank it and then it just hangs loose if you have the power feed or the fast forward feed. So, and that's also one reason why this mill doesn't have any hand cranks on them. First of all, because you're supposed to use the power feed most of the time and just fine adjust with your hand. But I mean, I find I'm using hand cranking many times, and it's really easy on the x-axis, but it's quite hard on the z-axis. Those are the two axes that have power feed on this machine. So considering that mass and that speed and this axle, I'm not surprised. It almost, dare I say, design fault, with a internal hole bore going all the way up to here and the keyway going all the way. And the keyway, I can't shorten the keyway because the keyway attaches on this section and this outer section, which is the arbor for the hand wheel. So, and you know, it's possible, this is a Schaublin 22 mil, and it's possible to buy this shaft, I'm sure, but I'm also certain it's going to be really expensive. So I'm looking for ideas on how to fix this. I'm thinking maybe I need to remove the rest of the shaft, of course, but I'm thinking maybe turn a new piece like this and make it a little bit longer and make it with a bore. I don't know how far, but maybe at least through the bearing, and maybe I haven't, you know, maybe somewhat inside of the bearing. And then turn down the rest of the shaft at the same length so it will fit into this bore, and cross drill a few places and either weld or just use dowel pins. I have a feeling that the dowel pins are gonna slowly eat away at the hole, so maybe put some welds inside those bores or those cross drill holes. But I'm open to suggestions, you know. I'm in unfamiliar territory here, and I'd really appreciate some good ideas. So that was a bummer, and let me give some light here. So this is the main screw, and it screws into the base. And if we look up here, you see the gears, the bevel gears. Let me see if I can put some light on that. You see the main bevel gear there, and the other one is hidden. Ah, there it is. So that's the end of the shaft, and right next to it is a bearing going through that face. And there you see the shaft is really thick. That just not just a cover, it's the actual shaft. And then it another bearing, and it goes into the gearbox, which I can't access, but this is the clutch that switches between the two motors for the power feed and fast forward. So inside here is the gearbox, and the question now is how to remove that shaft. So we'll see. I've been using this mill now for about 6 to 8 months. Been really happy with it. As you can see, it's a nice size mill. I have a review, early review in the in a previous video, and I'll make another one now that I have some experience with it. So anyway, thanks for watching, and please post some ideas in the comments below to give me some hints on your idea on how to fix this shaft. Okay, thank you.